Okay, this is George. It's my new cat. I'm convinced he's actually George, my former ragdoll cat, as a Georgian Fred fame reincarnated. He does the same mannerisms and gurgles the same way. The point of this is to actually just take some pictures, some video pictures of notes that I have about some of the stuff that I've recently posted on GitHub. Because I've gotten slowed down for a number of reasons. Some people did it intentionally. I think that one of the doctors I saw was actually working for the FBI. She looks familiar. But I'm not going to be able to do it for a while, so that's the point. I think I finally got with this 240K. Julie, my former neighbor in St. Louis, told me that I could work for as a technical analyst for the FBI for 240K a year. She gave me some kind of like superhuman superpower thing, and I reverse engineered something for her. That was like 2007 or 2008. There aren't technical analyst positions posted online to apply for, and the reason why is they don't usually let you apply. You kind of get recruited, I think. Some people in blue unmarked FBI jackets are on my street, or at least were earlier this week. We have some members of the New York and or New Jersey Mafia in my apartment building. Anthony X/X/Zach, Anthony Rico Wright, someone from The Sopranos, little Anthony from The Sopranos rolling down the street. He's not actually an actor, by the way. Leviathan, I don't know his last name. They were threatening to kill the cat, which is why I started the video with the cat. Kush, no longer with us. Someone that came in with me, she went down to Albuquerque and got lost in Yellowstone Park with me. That was my baby. I had to tape American flag tape all over my backpack and all over her cat carrier. She came back to Florida. They killed her anyway. So the American cat American cat is dead. Making her a federal cat, and I thought about Mar-a-Lago and them holding hostages at Mar-a-Lago, and apparently some FBI agents may have been executed, is what I heard on the dark web a long time ago, several years ago. So that's not going to do it. Making George a federal cat is not going to keep them from killing him. So I'm thinking of appealing to God, today being Sunday, for God to adopt this. So making George God's cat may save his life, we're thinking. Okay, so a couple of things before I get to the note taking, which can be paused and framed to do it. I'm not gonna like let people read them, and my handwriting at the time I got pretty severely drugged. Is questionable in some places for that reason, but I need people to be able to see the notes because some of it's important. I'm going to eventually write it up and annotate it. Writing a book eventually as well. Here's what I have to deal with. Okay, so I'm thinking Chicago is a safari destination. So this I hear crap has an improvement. You have to perforate the tissue is the issue. It won't drain if you do a single puncture wound. But these guys don't even know what it does. So Chicago being a safari destination is something that, yes, Trump did. Trump did it, Trump did it, Trump did it, the Republicans did it. I also have some notes which I've posted online, which is a reminder. One from Joe Strummer, his album The Future is Unwritten. So this Matrix time travel crap, if that is really what this dark web is supposed to be a reference to, not sure if it actually works that way or if it's just kind of like a futuristic theme on the usual hatred in this country and abroad. And also a friendly reminder that God hates the Republicans. So I'm going to try to irritate / piss off two very, very powerful, strong women in Chicago who I'm going to say that I've met them, not necessarily had detailed conversations with them, but I've met them both. One of them more than once. And I came into Chicago in April this year. So the first one is going to be this. So I wonder if this is actually like a map. One of these things had Algonquin. My dad moved us to Algonquin when I was like 2 years old. So Chicago to Harvard. So I'm not sure what you actually have to do. There's Des Plaines. Once you're there, or maybe it's just like a tourist thing. I don't know. So that's one of them. The Harvard Princeton connection, being introduced as someone who's been to Princeton and Harvard, is something that I finally just figured out what that's about. Is basically it's a way of irritating Trump. So it's not about what you say, it's how you say it, and like irritating him because he may very well have had a building bought for him to get in, but he certainly couldn't pass his freshman year with a C average. So introducing yourself that way irritates him. So I have some other suggestions on that one. The other thing is going to be my impersonation of this little safari hippo grip ball. Being Harpo the Safari Hippo, so I hope I get forgiven if it comes up. But look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm Harpo the Safari Hippo. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Who wants to F me in the fat suit? So I hope that irritates her, because that's another strong, powerful woman we could appeal to kill these trolls for us. Yeah, that is him. Okay, so the idea of back to the Harvard Princeton discussion, irritating Trump. There's a couple of suggestions. One of them is Kevin's. I think I was sitting next to Jason at my mom's house in my bedroom when I first heard this one. He buried one of his IDs in my mom's garden. Uh, that was a long time ago. I don't remember what year it was, but it was a long time ago, like 20 years or something. So it's about giving the federal DA a ringtone for court so he can play this on his iPhone just to let the man know that he's fucking screwed. Pardon my language. You can beep it. Okay, so here's the thing. It's the Gucci pet beep 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 impersonation. I have another reference to Ja Rule's Holler, Such Murder, or Jay-Z, The City Is Mine. That sample is something from World War I about a submarine and nuclear weapons. But this one should do it for this year. We're going to do personal F Trump ringtones if we have to. Okay, so it's Gucci pet. Tamaguchi pet. Gucci pet. Oh, disdain. So the pet poops on the little handheld screen. People remember these things from the 90s. And the translation from Japanese, of course, is going to be beep, 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 and then you can kill the pet at that point. Gucci pet. So Kevin's version of this, he probably has it recorded. It's the standard story. It's a classic. Should be the one who does the ringtone officially, but okay. And then the yellow page notes. 7 minutes into the video. There's George. God's cat. Protection. Beep, 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 and Gucci pet. Should be what the federal DA and his staff have going off right outside the courtroom. Don't make the judge madder than she already is. Alright, so here are some ideas. Like I said, this is just to make sure that there's a copy of it. Obviously, my version is going to be a little bit more accessible for the public, but some people also need to see this. They're probably data mining this elsewhere. Okay, so here's some stuff. There's some cryptocurrency ideas. Some of the stuff they're doing with cryptocurrency, it's not strong encryption. And these compounds, they're called molecular compounds. It's not like an organism for RNA structviz with non-overlapping loops. It's going to be, it's going to be a chemical compound, which does nasty stuff. Okay, so some topics. Here you go. I'm not going to annotate them. There is a note on my page to say, though, there's a reference to Google source code on the top line of one of these files in the main branch. And Google source code being out of date is obviously what this Android Go stuff refers to. That actually, when I typed that got them to delete it on my iPad. I put the iPad into to lockdown mode so that they can't delete stuff off this that easily. The HIV image from Explore, the file Explorer, is something that's what's missing from this is all the screenshots I have on my phone. Those will eventually get uploaded. It's kind of scary. Also, the tobacco virus from the X files. Just do it quickly. Cryptocurrency. You can see sort of the handwriting getting really, really bad at the cryptocurrency part. I got drugged. Part of this came in through the heating unit, and part of it was like GHB in my water supply, Mario style, and also probably my fridge. Okay, so some of this stuff won't make sense now. I will annotate it for general consumption eventually. But this stuff is important. Like the Google Play Store, work, play, personalized type stuff. This is what Trump really means. Trump doesn't want to just kill you, not efficient genocide. He wants to play with you before he kills you. And there are a lot of nasty references to presentation, like the font on the non-standard thing, true type font on the iPad legal notices, and copyrights inside of some of these true type fonts that Google is using. It's a really, really sick way of invoking copyright, like DeSantis versus Disney. My version will be a little bit more generalized consumption, but here's some notes. Kevin, Loki, Kevin, and company have the ability to ask if they don't understand what I mean until that happens. Again, they took me off Adderall with narcolepsy to slow me down. It's not going to stop me, but it's going to slow me down, so it doesn't need to blow up in my faces. Worse than they can fix. They have a month and a half. I communicated that to their, smashing the stack for fun and profit, the mental health stack for fun and profit. I don't know if she flicked me off in return. Trump did. Juneteenth. Okay, here we go. So, okay, look at this handwriting. I can barely even write. Like, I'm very, very literate and I write all the time. You can see how this is like someone slurring their speech while they try to write instead. But I did capture it. It was important, that blue sky reference. Skynet is scary. Dark web being like a neural net kind of reference. We don't actually know if time travel is possible. Presumably, if time travel were possible, we would already have known because they would have already ended everything. Like if things are deterministic that way, but maybe it's just a futuristic spacey thing. Bad handwriting. This is all there. You might have to do like a DOS to Unix kind of extraction on the XML files, but it's all there. And the data types and like the list traversals, single list traversals and icons and wallpapers and crap, it's really obnoxious. It's there. It's going to piss a lot of people off when I write it up in a way that's easier and more accessible. But for now, all we have is Kevin Loki and Company. With Comey being in jail. No one asks questions, of course, about Comey being in jail. I'm not sure if anyone else heard about that. There's the DVD at the library. Somewhere down here I have penis with a personality. That's one of these Yellowstone references on my projects list is to interpret some of these like foodie hub type references. When people use them, they can identify themselves very clearly. Some people don't know what they mean. Some people should know what they mean because it's a red flag and it means you could be in immediate danger by having to interact with them. We'll get to that sheet. Yes, I said sheet. Oh, someone flagged the Cali Weed video. I think Snoop Dogg came to the library that day just to for solidarity, to remind me that it was like important. That was the one with the Stormy Daniels reference. What Stormy Daniels meant was Trump's. It's about Nazism in America and abroad. Trump has a swastika on his penis, the mark of the beast, being Sunday again. And we need to remove it from his body before he dies. It's important. Before he dies, the emphasis is important. It's about how you say it. They tried to flag it and said it wasn't for kids, so you should just reset your parental filter. Google may or may not respect that depending on which access point you go through their network. But they tried to pull it down. I have to check on that this week. I've been guarding my, not American, not federal, I mean, of course, American federal, and then also God's cat this week, which is why I haven't been over there to deal with this yet. I also haven't been feeling well. Okay. Maybe someone will give me a cigarette when I go back over there this week. I really like it when that happens. That's very much appreciated. But of course, smoking is not a good thing, necessarily. Or maybe smoking is absolutely fine. Asian cultures tend to smoke quite a bit and they live longer than we do. Maybe it's not about the smoking. Maybe it's like the additives in the smoking, which goes back to this ChimeraX. ChimeraX. Billy Corgan. Whatever. Literal interpretations are so weird when you give multiple ones of them at the same time. Recency, or whatever metric you use. Okay. Handwriting going in and out again. Feds have a video feed, by the way, elsewhere, not just on my iPad. Some people have communicated that. I don't know if anyone else does. Certainly tunable with the frequency scaling. That's just the sound component of it. But yes, they do. And home automation things. There we go. There's Pinos with a personality. Go local, like Rachel Ray. Go local for your quote eggs. What does she mean by that? It's another one of these really scary things that's so commonplace in this country. It's so normal to a lot of people. If only most people really knew what they meant. Maybe it wouldn't be the same kind of scariness. Penis with personality is a reference to Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, by the way, but that's a difference. Maybe Chuck D and Steph Curry, their little Chase commercials. Okay. Started on the dark web, then I wrote that down. Someone saw me write it down. That's another scary part of this, and then it became, they started putting those on the real YouTube off the dark web iPad. Anyone else have a precise definition of what dark web means? Because that is good. We're going to get on the public internet now. Studying nanotechnology or cryptocurrency with Matt Damon looking what he looks like without makeup, kind of like Garth Brooks in Yellowstone. Almost not one of them know that reference. No, I may be the first to have lived. Good. We're not willing to take money, not offered money for it either. Being a woman is one of those ways. Maybe that's not it either. Okay, here's my to-do list. These are some Yellowstone things. These are images that aren't actually public data, but some of these screenshots will be posted eventually. That's fairly minor. That's something I have to do anyway. I get around to it. I did, through a lawyer, give sort of a minor living will. All my online accounts and stuff basically are going to be property of the Obama Presidential Library for archival and a number of other good things to make sure that people end up having copies of them. In the event that they do end up murdering me. Once again, we do have some New York and New Jersey mafia famous people you would recognize living around here with the FBI, so we don't know how that turns out yet, obviously. But they're not going to murder me and have this go away, whatever that's worth. Oh, the chip cards. Chip cards slash SIM cards, those are like little cryptocurrency wallets. They're actually not necessary to get on the cellular network. That's not how it happens. Some of that hardware, there's a link over there. It's, this is what Biden's administration came in being very strong about, was cryptocurrency and problems. North Korea, there's a hacker that off the hook once basically cleared. Trump put him in jail. Not quite as bad as Kevin Mitnick, we think, but Trump put him in jail for giving the North Koreans information about cryptocurrency. And this is kind of what it was about, is just giving the information. Trump locks him up, he knew too much. So me, I'm not going to be locked up. They could have locked me up and suppressed it as usual, me being a woman. I'm going to be threatened and maybe murdered instead. And then I'm going to be reported the same way. He wants to play with you before he kills you. A man, I would have been basically given a handshake, fed dinner, and promoted. No, that's not how it's going to work for me. That's not how that's going to be allowed to work in Trump's America. Republicans did it. Okay, topics 2. Like I said, some of this stuff is going to be written up very, very well eventually, but I'm not going to be able to do that for a while. So this is for Kevin Loki and company. More so than for general consumption. They have a copy if they need it. Also, if you go down the library is anything reasonable, which is basically all my stuff. I want my cat taken care of. My cat's taken care of. Kush 2 comes to my window. Someone may have adopted him. They ripped me off on food stamps. I predicted it would happen. It's an old discussion. I'm not going to say joke, an old discussion. They managed to do it. They ripped me off on food stamps. So if I can't feed myself, some people at the library or libraries around Chicago will apparently help me find stuff to eat. Georgie Mon has doubled in size in the last month since I let him inside. So he needs cat food too if that comes up. Hopefully it won't come up. Should be making like $350, $400 a year entry level with a PhD as a software engineer. That's not being allowed to happen right now. I'm gonna go teach AP Calculus next year. You get a lot of big bad lawyers. Okay, topics 4, here we go. Notice it got quieter in my apartment. You should really analyze the original video for the frequency stuff. It got very much quieter, which is usual. They threaten, and you do it anyway, then they shut up for a brief period of time and go back to normal and reset. There's no actual, use of the feedback in the loop. Fareed saying that AI is eventually going to be capable of learning is total bullshit.